Hey guys, MetalJesus here. Now you guys know that I have been really enjoying my Steam Deck lately, and because of that, I have built up a nice collection of accessories for it. And so in this video, I'm going to count down my top 5 Steam Deck accessories. And be aware that this video is designed for people who might be new to the Steam Deck and also people who have had it for a little while and maybe just looking for some new accessories, some new ideas. Starting with number 5. So I think that a power brick is very necessary for the Steam Deck if you are going to travel. As you guys know, the Steam Deck is incredibly powerful and there's a lot of things you can do to get maximum battery life out of it. But if you're going to be traveling on a plane, in a car, basically using it in handheld mode for a long period of time, and you're going to be playing some newer AAA games, you're going to get about maybe 2 hours of battery life. And so having a power brick for me is definitely a necessity. Now this one that I have here is a little bit of a nicer one. It cost me about $200. I bought it several years ago, primarily to use with my iPad when I travel, but the wattage is high enough that it also works really well with the Steam Deck. And so this is gonna give me an additional couple hours if I need it. Coming in at number 4 for me is a protective shell. Now, I don't always get these for my handhelds. Typically in the past, for like the 3DS and the Vita, I'll typically look for something that's protective but also adds a little bit of extra grip. The nice thing about the Steam Deck is that it doesn't need it, that it's already got a nice feel, a nice size to it. It doesn't need any sort of additional bulk to it. And so when I was looking for a protective shell, this one really fit all of my needs. I like this one because it's flexible and it doesn't add a lot of, like I said, bulk to the Steam Deck. What it really does is 2 things. It protects it, so you're not going to get as many scratches, you're not going to get as much dirt on it, as much oil from your fingers, and it makes it a little bit nicer to hold because it is kind of soft. It's designed for the Steam Deck, and so it has all of the holes cut out for all of the different buttons. It doesn't block any of the vents, so your Steam Deck shouldn't overheat. It does fit pretty snug, but it's still easy to take on and off. And I like that even when it's on, the Steam Deck still fits into the official case. And this only cost me around $17, so it wasn't very expensive. Coming in at number 3 is going to be something that I think is pretty obvious, especially if you already own the Steam Deck, but I want to mention it here because there are a lot of options. That is getting a micro SD card for it. I opted for the top of the line Steam Deck, which had a 0.5 terabyte of storage already built into it. But then I splurged a little bit and got this 1 terabyte SanDisk that is additional storage. So I have basically 1.5 terabytes of storage for my Steam Deck. Now, this little SD card here cost me $160, and they are getting cheaper all the time. It's mind-blowing how small these things are and yet how much storage can be put on it. And you can see that I'm using it all. So this is my storage right here on my Steam Deck, and on the internal drive I have about 147 gigabytes free, but on that micro SD, that 1 terabyte, I only have 61 gigabytes free. And that's because I'm using my Steam Deck so much, both in, AAA games, which as you see right here, Forza Horizon 5 takes up almost 120 gigs just by itself. Grand Theft Auto 5 is using like 108 gigabytes. I mean, these things really add up quick. And so yes, it might seem obvious, but definitely get the biggest SD card that you can afford, especially if you plan on using the Steam Deck as much as I do. Coming at number 2 is something really interesting. So this thing is called the NextDock. Basically what this does is turn your Steam Deck into a fully functional laptop. Now, you could very easily go out and use your existing Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, and I've definitely done that. It works great, but it's really nice to have this device right here, where all you have to do is basically just plug in the USB-C out from the Steam Deck, and suddenly it's a laptop. This has a 13-inch touch display. It has built-in speakers. It's also got a built-in lithium-ion battery that lasts about 7 hours. And then you can see on the side here, it also has a bunch of inputs. It's got a headphone jack as well as a micro SD slot. It's got a couple USB-C ports, one of them for charging and the other one for the video in. It also has a mini HDMI in. And so as you can see here, it's basically a laptop. The thing is that there is no operating system on here. There's no hard drive. There is no real traditional graphics processors or anything like that. It's kind of like a gutted laptop, and you just plug in a device and it sort of duplicates it. So as you see here, it's wild. Like, you can kind of forget that you're using the Steam Deck because it looks and feels just like a real laptop. And what's cool is that this will also work with some smartphones by Samsung, Motorola, and Huawei. And you can even use it with your iPad, as you see here. Now, the downside is that this thing is not cheap. It costs $350. So you have to kind of weigh, it's like, would you or should you go out and just get like a cheap Chromebook and use that? But if you're already carrying your Steam Deck and you want something a little bit more powerful than a Chromebook, maybe this is an option for you. And so I think this is pretty cool, but you know, at that price, it's not going to be for everybody. Before we get to number one, I do have an honorable mention. It's going to be another obvious one, but that is headphones. And the reason why I want to mention this is because people know that I'm into audio, and they often ask me what are the headphones that I use. And both of these work great on the Steam Deck. My wired headphones that I use all the time, I've had them for years now. I love them. That is the Meze Classics 99. These are $300, pretty much audiophile quality headphones. Again, I use them all the time listening to music. I absolutely love them. They are very well balanced, not too much bass, just perfect for rock and metal and jazz and things like that. And then when it comes to wireless headphones, I use these Bose Sound Sports. This is another pair of headphones that I've used for years now. I like them. They sound great. They fit really well in my ears, and they're not too expensive. They're at $130, which I think is pretty comparable to others like them. Now we're going to move on to the number one Steam Deck accessory that I can't live without, and that is this third-party dock. Now here's the thing, when the Steam Deck was originally announced, a lot of us were like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be like a Switch Pro, but for playing Steam games. And Valve talked about that they were going to make a dock. Well, as of the making of this video, that has been pushed off into the future. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter, because this dock and docks like it are perfectly fine. This one here cost me $35, and it does everything that you would want. As you see, that you plug in that USB-C cable on the top there, and then what you do is you use the power brick that you got from your Steam Deck to plug into this dock, so that way everything has enough power. You're not lacking of anything. You won't get any weird error messages. And then you can just video out to your capture card, to your HD television, whatever you need it to do. And what's great is that you have other USB ports. So for instance, I prefer to actually use a wired Xbox 360 controller. It's kind of what I use for all of my PC gaming. I like the fact that it's wired. I don't have to worry about any weird setup or any weird lag or anything like that. And you just plug it in here, the Steam Deck detects it, and you are playing your game. It's flawless. Now, if you just want to get the video out of your Steam Deck to your television, there are some other solutions here. So for instance, when I first got it, I just got a USB-C to HDMI cable. Cost about $15, and that does the trick. But you quickly want other things. You want to be able to power the Steam Deck as well. You want to be able to maybe plug in some, external drives and things like that if you're trying to copy stuff over. Like I said, in my case, I want to use a wired Xbox controller. And so, yes, you can get like, a USB hub, but this dock, I think, is just perfect because it has everything that you need, and the deck just sits right there. And all the gameplay footage that you see on my channel over the last couple months has come from me using this dock. So it works really well. And again, at $35, I think it is perfectly priced. So those are the top 5 Steam Deck accessories that I am currently using, but I have to tell you that the Steam Deck is popular and a lot of companies are making accessories all the time. So it'll be interesting to see down in the comments what you guys are using, what you guys recommend for your Steam Deck. And if you want to check out some of these accessories for your Steam Deck, I'll put links to Amazon down in the video description below. And as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.